Alnwick Brown Ale.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Band, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I've got one here from Northumberland and it's the Alnwick Brown Ale. Now this is quite interesting. I saw this in the bottle shop in the People's Republic of Yorkshire. I think it was Drinkswell. And they were selling this Alnwick Brown Ale and it looked really interesting from the description. I love brown ale, so I thought I'm getting some of this, and I'm reviewing it today, obviously, and I've just been reading up a little bit about it and the brewery as well. Very interesting indeed. They have been going since 1860, but they didn't register properly as a brewery until 1890. And they were brewing ever since then. I think they got taken over by some big Scottish brewery. It wasn't Newcastle and Scottish, it was another one, but they closed at some point. And then one of the descendants from the owner of the brewery found all the recipes and decided to start up again in, I think it was 2004. Could be wrong, but it was quite recent. And they've been brewing these old traditional recipes ever since. But what makes this really interesting is that they've enlisted the help of a former master brewer from the Newcastle Brown Brewery, or what used to be the Newcastle Brown Brewery. So this should be reasonably good. Now, I can hear you saying, well, Newcastle Brown is a pile of shit. And you're right, it is. That's why I've not reviewed it. There's no point, it's just going to be a rant. I don't like it. I just do not like it. I remember I tried a bottle recently and it was absolutely disgusting. It didn't taste of anything. It was brewed in the Netherlands and it was just tasteless and it gave me a headache as well. Now that is a really bad sign. I've heard recently that it's brewed now up in Tadcaster in the John Smith's brewery. But again, that's just more alarm bells going off. So I've avoided Newcastle Brown completely. So if you're ever wondering or you ever ask why, that's going to be the reason I tell you I don't do it. But this stuff, as I say, it looks interesting. It's interesting as well to me because there is a link to Tottenham, where I used to live, or where I'm from, basically. And the people who own the brewery, they've gone into sort of partnership, or there's an investment company called Harry Hotspur Holdings. Now, if you look up who Harry Hotspur was, he was actually a fella called Henry Percy. He was an English knight in the 14th century, I think he was, 14th or 15th. But he was renowned for fighting in the 100 Years' War with the French and also fighting with the Scots. And the Scots gave him a nickname of Hotspur because he was very quick in his attacks on the Scots. He moved around the battlefield really quickly. So that's where he got the name Hotspur from. And if that sounds familiar, that's where Tottenham Hotspur get their name from. The reason they do is because his descendants owned land in Tottenham. And there's a road called Northumberland Park, which is a road that runs down North Tottenham. I used to live right next. I could walk there in a couple of minutes. I could walk there. That's how far I lived from it. It's right near the Spurs ground as well. A few good pubs, or used to be a few good pubs on that road. I think one of them's closed down, and the other one I think is turned into the Billy Nick or the Bill Nicholson pub. Used to be the Northumberland Arms. That was one of my locals at one point. The reason they called it, as I say, the descendants of Harry Hotspur owned land in Tottenham Marshes. Now, Tottenham Marshes was basically my fucking playground when I was a kid. We did do some damage to that place. I remember one summer, me and a mate, I shouldn't really be admitting this would probably get me in fucking trouble. But this was years ago. I mean, I'm an old fucker now, so it was over 40 years ago. And we basically set light to Tottenham Marshes. Not all of Tottenham Marshes, but the grass was so dry where the sun had been beating down on it. Me and my mate were smoking over there, and we thought it'd be a great idea to start a fire. Fuck me, I look back, it was like a fucking great fire in London, it was. Yeah, and we decided to make our excuses and leave when we heard the fire brigade. I don't even know whether I should be telling this, I'm fucking incriminating myself. If any policemen are watching or anybody wants me to take this to court, this may have happened, it may not have happened. I may just be saying this to impress people. So there you go. Or I may not be. Anyway, let's get on to the beer. Right, this is 4.7%. It's in a 500ml bottle. I'll just give you a look at the label. There we go, hang on. Here it is. There's a bit on the back. Cap is just plain black. The cap is just plain black. On the back of it, it says brewed in small batches in North England by its IBD master brewer. The classic northeastern brown ale is deep reddish brown in colour, with notes of dried fruit balanced with traditional hoppy edge. It is excellent with Northumbrian fare, including Doddington's fine cheeses, Goodies Cave and Berwick Edge. I don't know why I'm putting on a Yorkshire accent. They speak nothing like that in Northumberland. It's also a fine barbecue companion for a Chevio lamb burger. Who the fuck eats a Chevio? That's got to be French, isn't it? And a Bamberg banger. I spelt Bamberg wrong. Bamberg, I'm presuming, is... I might not be, I'll take that back. I was assuming it was like a Bavarian sausage, but obviously it's not. Yeah, that's about it, really. No brew sheet on this at all. They haven't even got a website. I did look it up. I've had to glean this information from elsewhere, but there's no indication as to what hops or what malt. So on that bombshell, let's get this beer open. Alright, here we go. Oh, you bastard. That's going to fizz up. No, you're not. Oh, you. That nearly fizzed up on me. Oh, this does seem super fizzy. Look at the amount of carbonation in there. What the fuck is going on here? Oh, this has gone everywhere. Damn you! I'll tell you what though, it does smell nice. Now, of course, before any of you Geordies get onto me about drinking Newcastle brown or brown ale from the north the wrong way, I was actually told by a Geordie in a pub one day that the correct way to drink Newcastle brown ale or brown ale from Newcastle is out of a half-pint glass and from the bottle and topping it up regularly. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not, but he also said it's got to be drunk cold, which I'm not sure about. What are we getting on the nose? Oh yeah, that's very nice. Wow. What? There's a ton, an absolute ton of caramel malt on that. Oh, it smells really good. Lovely sweet caramel malt. This smells really interesting. Oh, there's a little bit of fruit on there as well, like apple. Oh, this smells great. Please don't let me down and be a bad beer. Bottoms up. Oh. There's a very slight sour apple flavour on that. Oh, do you know what? That's a real shame because I can taste them lovely malts that have come through on there. That sour apple taste is quite subtle, but it is there. But I'm getting an absolute ton of toffee malt and caramel malt from this, which is making it palatable. Now, if the malts were really crap on this, I probably wouldn't be getting that sour apple. But it's very subtle, I will say that, but I can get it. And it's weird, because the more I drink, the more the malts are coming through, and they're killing that sour apple style flavour. Now, an alarm bell did ring when I poured this out, because there was a ton of carbonation, and the head is dissipated here now. There is a little bit left, as you can see. Carbonation is still there, so it's not all bad. But I have to say, it does taste nice. I can only imagine that this tastes absolutely amazing from the cask. Now, there's no sell-by date on this, so I don't know how fresh or how stale it is. It doesn't say it's bottle conditioned, but it's really nice. But the two dominant flavours in this are caramel and toffee malt. The toffee malt is absolutely huge, and it's quite nice, I have to say. Absolutely nothing like a Newcastle Brown. And that sour apple flavour is getting less and less as the malts just come through. That's quite nice, actually. I would have preferred a little bit more body on it, but you know, if you're comparing this to Newcastle Brown, there is no comparison. This is just full of flavour. Now, don't get me wrong, I know Newcastle Brown is macro brewed, I shouldn't be comparing them, but this is a brown ale in the tradition of that region, the Tyne and Wear brown ales. Now, there's a couple of others as well from that region. You've got Double Maxim, it's a brown ale. I've not tried that, I don't think, or have I? Possibly. I haven't reviewed it, I know that. And this stuff is really good. God. Oh, it's lovely. That's really good. That sour apple taste is just very, very slight. In fact, it's, you know, you really have to sort of concentrate to get that now. But on first taste, this is my second beer of the day. This is, and I was trying that Drygate White IPA. God, that was a load of crap. This fucking knocks it out of the park. This does. I really like it, but it's just all about the malt. Toffee malt, caramel malt. More toffee, I'd say, than caramel. Both there. A little touch of fruitiness to it, not a lot. There is the sour apple there, but it's getting less and less as I'm drinking more. This is just dominated by the toffee. And the only criticism, apart from the sour apple flavour, is there's just it could do with a little bit more body on it. But aside from that, that is really good. That is really good. So there's sort of two minor gripes there. Really nice. Not really getting any hop bitterness on that at all. This is relatively sweet, but yeah, good. I would probably buy this again. What's the verdict on Alnwick Brown Ale? Yeah, alarm bells rang with the first mouthful. It did fizz up. There was a lot of carbonation in that. And I thought I was going to be revisiting another Burton Bridge beer that just tasted absolutely terrible. But this really does shine through with the lovely toffee and caramel malt that's on this. Mainly toffee, but there is caramel there as well. And it says dried fruit. The only dried fruit I was getting on here was it wasn't wasn't dried fruit, it was apple. That's the chemical reaction some beers have. I have to say it was slight, but I did notice it on the first mouthful, but as I drank more and more, that got less and less, and now I can't taste it at all, really. That's really nice. I have to say that is really good. I'm going to give it an 8.5, a solid 8.5 out of 10. I will knock marks off for the little bit of sourness that's on there, and it could have just done with a little bit more in the body. But they're, again, as I say, they're not deal breakers for me. The flavours on this, if you're a fan of malty forward, what do they call it? Malt forward style beers, malt forward type traditional British beers, you are going to love that. That is really nice. So yeah, that is a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'll definitely recommend it. You'll get it online, either from their shop. They have I think it's called Northumbrian Gifts or something like that. You can get it on there, or you get it on the Drinkswell website. Whether they've got it in stock now, I don't know. Just a quick mention about this brewery as well. At the start of the coronavirus lockdown, rather than just throw all their beer away that they'd brewed, the cask beer and all that, they just urged everyone to go and get a container, come to the shop and just fill up your containers for nothing, rather than throw it away. I just thought that's a brilliant gesture, because it's quite easy to just throw it all away, but who wins there, Now, by doing that, they've probably earned quite a few fans. So that's a brilliant idea. Respect for that one. So yeah, you're going to get 8.5 out of 10 for this. I definitely recommend it. And yeah, I will be buying more of this. And remember, beer is working class champagne.